I'm Chris Lawrence in Dallas with your headlines from North Texas, and we start with a grandmother who claims a funeral home mishandled the remains of her stillborn grandson. And she just spoke with Tiffany Liu.
Janice Aldridge thinks about it often.
She said, "Mom, I lost one of the babies."
January 7th, 2022.
I held the baby, talked to the baby.
The day she lost her grandchild, Cass Simmons.
It was just devastating.
He was 3 pounds and stillborn. While her daughter was at the hospital, Janice would handle funeral arrangements.
And I said, Golden Gate, because, I've known their business for years.
Golden Gate Funeral Home and a Crematory has been around for more than 45 years. CEO John Beckwith tells WFAA they handle over 2,000 families annually. He said, "We serve our family, friends, colleagues, classmates, and church members with dignity and respect." That's the reputation Janice knew, until Cass.
The communication got worse, no return calls.
More than 2 months after his death, March 19th, 2022, she says her daughter witnessed the cremation.
Her baby looked like a black garbage bag. Excuse my French. Very badly decomposed. Like, where did you have this baby? You didn't preserve his body.
Less than a week later, Janice says the ashes were ready.
She texted me when she picked up the remains. She said, "Mom, look what they gave me." I was like, oh my God, that looks like kitty litter.
Janice tells us her daughter decided to send the box of ashes to the Texas State Forensic Anthropology Center.
He actually received 2 separate bags.
He says they are consistent with human remains, but one bag weighed just over 11 grams, and the second bag was more than 600 grams.
The one that actually had the tag with it was way too heavy for what we would have expected.
Dr. Westcott's anthropology report provided to WFAA by the family determined it's 43 times heavier than expected.
When we get to this size, we're looking at something, closer to a 60-pound child.
Not a 3-pound fetus.
Definitely not. No, definitely not.
Beckwith didn't comment on this situation, but he says, quote, "Any families that are unhappy with our services have the opportunity to resolve issues with us personally or choose to use other means to do so. We answer all concerns." We also asked him about the more than 70 entries filed against him and Golden Gate with the Texas Funeral Service Commission between 2021 and 2022. According to public data, there are disciplinary actions against the license. He didn't respond to that, but in his statement, Beckwith says he will fight diligently to defend any defamation of our character.
I was horrified. Like, where is my grandbaby?
Janice's daughter did file a lawsuit against Beckwith, but she says it was settled. While her daughter can't speak on the case because of the settlement agreement, Janice won't stay silent.
That's not Cass.
More than 3 years after her grandson's death, Janice demands closure in more ways than one. In Dallas, I'm Tiffany Liu.
Denton ISD is responding to some parents' concerns after they weren't notified about a stabbing at school. The stabbing happened Friday at Denton Ryan High School, which is located on the east side of town. The email most parents received made no mention of a stabbing. It just said an ambulance responded to a student in need of medical attention. Some frustrated parents told us it indicates a lack of transparency. Denton ISD just revealed it happened inside a classroom with 5 students and that one student was injured but expected to be okay. The district released a statement saying, quote, "At no time was the broader student body placed at risk. The parents and guardians who had a child in that class were contacted directly by phone and email in follow-up communication, and counseling services were made available." Kratom is an over-the-counter drug some people use to relieve anxiety and pain or boost energy, but now it's also being linked to deaths across the country. Kevin Reese just spoke with a grieving mother who's warning other parents so they don't go through what her family did.
No one can ever understand what it's like to lose a child. It's just impossible.
But from her home in University Park, Elena Brooks wanted to share that impossible grief.
I almost have to trick my brain into thinking he's away at school, because when I do stop and think about the fact that he's gone, I just can't breathe. It's overwhelming.
His name was Keaton. He was 16 years old. It was a school day this past February.
At 8:29, I opened the door and I said, "Keats," and he didn't answer me.
Keaton was gone, died in his sleep. The medical examiner ruled it an accident from the toxic effects of the anxiety drug clonazepam given to him by a friend, and metrogenine, otherwise known as kratom.
Didn't even think about the word kratom until that point.
I'd never heard of it.
Kratom, a plant from Southeast Asia, sold in different forms at vape and smoke shops and convenience stores, is used by an estimated 1.7 million Americans.
You know, kratom's been around for a long time.
But Carrie Stitt at the youth treatment program Youth 180 says it has grown popular and addictive for minors.
It's just too dangerous for them to be experimenting with things like this that we don't know enough about.
There's this feeling that, well, because I can buy it over the counter or because I can buy it online, this is benign. But that's unfortunately really not the case.
Kratom-related deaths, minors and adults, are being reported across the country. And just last month, the FDA announced it is working to regulate the opioid components of the plant for the first time. The FDA commissioner saying it can be more potent than morphine. Legislation has also been introduced in the Texas House.
So that's what I would say is, okay, if it can be helpful, great, then let's regulate it.
WFAA reached out to multiple kratom retailers. Only one responded with a written statement, in part saying, "We do not have detailed information on drug interactions with pharmaceuticals. Consult your doctor, as we cannot provide medical advice." Advice and a warning a grieving mom wishes she had.
If I can prevent anyone else from experiencing that, I want to do that.
In University Park, I'm Kevin Reese.
God bless her and that family. We've also learned the Bodar train crossing has now reopened in downtown Fort 8 days after a devastating crash. A Union Pacific train barreled into an 18-wheeler that was stopped on the tracks. Thankfully, no one was injured and no hazardous chemicals spilled. Crews spent the weekend clearing the damage and reinstalling that crossing arm. AT&T Stadium will host 9 matches during next summer's World Cup, and we're getting a better idea of the festivities planned, including at Fair Park. But a Southern Dallas County reporter, Brittany Moncrief, discovered some small businesses might be barred from opening.
Some might call it a hot spot.
We own the Lucky 7 convenience store, which is the only convenience store inside the State Fair of Texas.
With the FIFA World Cup coming to North Texas next year, Lucky 7 owner Jonathan Maples is betting on change.
We just don't want to be left out.
Because in years past, Jonathan and many others here at the Point South Revitalization Committee meeting say that's what happens.
The fair doesn't feed the community enough.
FIFA's North Texas Organizing Committee's Noel Laveau says they're expecting more than 3.8 million visitors, bringing in more than $1.5 billion.
We see it as an opportunity for the entire region.
But how much will South Dallas businesses like Jonathan's see? FIFA says sponsors for events like the Fan Festival, to be hosted in Fair Park, are corporate sponsors like McDonald's, putting restrictions on other vendors.
It makes me very disappointed to the borderline of angry, because our convenience store can't be open except during the times of the fair. And that's not fair.
Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce is working to help local businesses
to ensure that people who look like us and are from our community get access to some of these huge opportunities that the city has won.
Noel encourages owners to apply to FIFA's private database, a bridge connecting businesses to FIFA and its committees.
There will be some businesses that are doing business with some of the larger contractors and therefore not able to do other business.
She also says there's opportunities to advertise through their app and newsletter.
Get in the game. Make sure that you have something that is soccer related, and then there will be opportunities.
But owners like Jonathan want to know all of the sponsors and a chance to submit a request for proposal to operate.
Nobody's asking for any type of handout, just a level playing field.
A community that wants to see the same growth too. In South Dallas, I'm Brittany Moncrief.
Yeah, we'd love to see some small business owners reap the benefits of such a big event. And those are your headlines from North Texas.